Okay, is the National Firearms Act kind of been eliminated in terms of suppressors and short-barreled rifles? If you're like me and you've been looking around on YouTube, you've seen the hundreds of different videos out there bringing this topic up. Now, it's confusing. I think the best person to go and watch is Washington Gun Lawyer, and he explains in detail that this whole thing creates more of a mess than solves any problems or frees things up for us. Okay, in the way that the fact that they didn't appeal this decision, so only the plaintiffs, which are the companies that filed this legal proceeding, are the ones that are exempt now from the federal regulation in sales of their products. Not everyone in that. So it's kind of confusing. There's a lot of things on the state level that they said this state has some kind of thing. If I wanted to buy a suppressor or a short barrel rifle or something, part of the process, I remember in the old days, I'd have to go to the local sheriff's office and file some paperwork with them and kind of get permission from them or something. This is going back years ago. I think it's changed. And then file with the federal government. When I looked it up just a few weeks ago, when I fill out all the e-forms and that for, say, a suppressor or whatever, or building a short barrel rifle, Form 1, that's what I looked up, Form 1. And I think I'd have to give copies of that to the local sheriff and make him aware of it. He did not have to, I don't think he had to sign off or give me permission to go forward like in the old days or something. I don't know. They've changed the laws in my state here recently, and it's quite confusing. You know, in the past couple of years, they've made several changes to the gun laws in North Carolina. And that's what's going on now with this. Everyone's all, hey, hooray, and happy, and the people in the business that, you know, are selling these items, or, you know, things are, that's a very positive thing here. But, you know, to me, it's confusing. I am suspicious because generally the government, you know, there's people in the government that push back on loosening any type of gun laws, okay, or eliminating them. And I find it kind of suspicious that this is happening because a couple weeks ago they made it another lawsuit against New Jersey that made it to where they can't ban AR-15s. I'm not going to get into that. It's a whole different can of worms. But that has gone through and went to a higher court. They've appealed that as, you know, it was an unconstitutional thing for them to ban AR-15s. So you're seeing a lot of these gun laws being loosened up or eliminated or deemed unconstitutional, which is kind of suspicious because globally in the past 20 years, most countries in the world have tightened up their gun laws, or just like Australia and Brazil, flat out disarmed the population. You know. So I kind of find it a little strange that here on the home front, after these back and forth battles, now all of a sudden they're all kind of just going through unopposed. Okay, which, I don't know. But another thing is, in the midst of all this confusion, much like I said, again I'm going to reference Washington Gun Lawyer, it leaves us in a limbo again. And just like anybody that's been doing 2A videos all this past year, all these things that have gone on leave you confused, not knowing what is legal, what is not legal, you're confused and you're unsure of what is going on, okay? And I'll give you an example. We got this here, pistol brace, supposedly nice, legal, not a problem. This is a carbine stock. To place this on this would be a felony, okay? PSA sells this as a pistol lower. It has this plastic fin device on here, which is considered a pistol brace, a fin brace. But in Raleigh, there was a raid on an illegal underground bar, and when they went in there, they found the people selling liquor without a license. They found, I guess, some marijuana, some cash, and all this other fun stuff. And then there were several guns, some handguns, and then basically what would be deemed an AR pistol in this setup with a PSA lower and a short barrel AR upper, a pistol. The police and the ATF and all these people involved said that this, which is supposedly a pistol brace, was going to be recorded as a short-barreled rifle. So, if you're going to run an underground bar and sell narcotics, you might get burned. That's a more serious charge than what it actually was an AR pistol. Okay. And so you got to watch out. If somebody needs to make a point or how the law is interpreted and the rapid advancement of said laws, and leaves us in this confusing gray area. So the point I'm trying to make is be careful and make sure that everything, you had these guys had a live broadcast and waited till midnight and everything else. It's a lot more complicated than we think. And be careful and try not to get burned. Okay? Right now I'm just going to sit back and see how all this plays out and how it works. And there's nothing definite. It's highly confusing. I'm going to go and speak to a couple dealers that I know and see what they have been told through the ATF, because they are, FFL dealers, and they can get the information and the updates they're supposed to. So I will talk to a few FFL holders and see, at least what's going on here. But in the meantime, hey, it's good news in one way, but I'm kind of suspicious in another. All right, thank you, and stay tuned.